In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this UI. This is a UI for Christians who are celebrating their Xmas period. And also I'm going to be showing you a trend in the UI world. 2021 is going to be a great year, and there's this trend upcoming which is called the Glassmorphism. This is designing UI just like in form of glasses. So I'm going to show you in this video how to design this, and guess what, the interesting part of this video is that all resources, I'll share the link in the description to this video so you can use the resources I've used in this video. Also, I'm going to be showing you some cool animation stuff which you can use to spice up your design. So let's get started. So I just opened a Figma project and I have some basic setup which I'll just explain very quickly. What I have here is I have a file open with the name Glassmorphism in Figma. So the next thing I would like to explain is my typography. I have some typography which I want to work with. My heading 1, I'm using Fredoka Win, and my heading 2, my subheading, caption, my button, and the buttons. So I've set up this font faces and the size for the font. Also, I have colors here. I have some different colors. These colors have some funny names, like this one is free speech red, this is Persian red, this is Kobe, this is friend green, this is charcoal, this is white smoke, and this is my white color. So I'm going to show you guys how to use these colors in this design. I just picked out these colors and I want to work with these colors in this design. Also, I have the 2 images which I used in this design, and these images are free for you to use, and you can check in the description of this video to get the link to this Figma file. Then you can use the images as well. So that's the basic setup I have. I just added pages. You can add your pages by clicking on this plus sign. You see add new page. I have 2 pages, one for the design and one for the mood board. The mood board just tells me just gives me some ideas of how my design is going to look like. So now the next thing I will need to do is start the design. So what I would do is to start the design as fast as possible so I don't waste your time. So what I would do now is to select a frame as usual. I select my frame, and I'm going to use MacBook Pro. That's like a standard. So I'm going to give this home design, and what next? What I would do now is to add a grid line. That's like a standard. So the grid line helps me to align content on my design. So to add grid line, I'll just go to, once I select the frame, I go to the layout grid and I click on this plus, and it comes out. Then the next thing, I'm going to click the grid, and I'm going to set this to be columns, and I'm going to be using 12. So sorry, I'm using 500. 12. Then I'm going to set this to center and set the width to, let's say, 70, and set it to 30. This is kind of a standard, so I can use this and work with it. Then the next thing I would like to do now is to start my design. So I'm going to start with the header, and the header should contain the name of the website or the brand logo of the website, then some navigations. So to do that, what I'll do first is I'll go back to my mood board and kind of add this to Figma styles. So Figma styles helps you to kind of save those styles so that once you want to use them, you can easily make use of them again. So for this heading 1, I'm going to double click and select it. For this heading 1, I'll just go to the text and I want to add a style. So I'll just click on style here and click on the plus icon here. So I'm going to give this style, I'm going to call it heading 1. Heading 1. So I'll click on create style. So this heading 1, once I click on the artboard, you could see my local style heading 1. I can edit this style. You can see that this is the font type and this is the size, and we can go ahead to do some other settings of your choice you want for this style. So I'll show you guys how to use this style. So I'll do that for this as well. So I'll click on the style and I'll click on add. I'm going to call this heading 2, and click on style, create style. I'm going to do this as well. So let me quickly do this for all of them and create style. So for this, I'm going to call this caption. So I'll call it caption and I'll create style. For this, it's going to be the body. So I'll click on it and call it body text and create style. Then for my button as well, I have some configurations. You can see the configurations I'm using: Pompey's boot 16 and later spacing 0.5. This is a kind of a standard to what I want to use for my typography. So I'll click on add style and I'll call this button text and I'll click create style. Awesome. So we have my styles, our styles we want to use for our text. The next styles I would like to create is the color style. So I'll click on this color. I'll kind of copy the name of this color and I'll click on the fill and click on this styles and click on add. So the name of the color is free speech red. So I'll select the other one and also select the color and click on the style and I'll add. So I'm going to do that for the rest of the colors. So I would also do this and I'll create the style. Then for my green, I'll select and create the style for the green as well. Then this is my black and it's charcoal. So I'll just click on plus and add that. And for the white, I have like a gray. It's being this grade is called smoke white, so I'll just click on plus. Sorry about that. I'll just click on the styles and click on plus and then add date. Then for the white is a convection, so I'm going to select that, click on the style, click on plus and add the color white and click create. So if you look at my local styles, I have my text styles and I have my color styles. Awesome. This will make your work faster and easier. So I'll go back to the design and now I would like to add a text. So I'll add a text. This should be the brand name. So I'm going to use Christmas. I hope I spelled that very well. So awesome. Now let's check out the style properties. So you could see once I click on the text property here and I can select any of the styles, I could say, okay, I need this to be heading 2. And that's awesome. So you don't have to start setting the properties for each time you want to select a text. And also I can set the color. You can come here and select a color, but with the styles we have added, so you just click on the style and then you select the color you want to use. I want to use the free speech red for this. Awesome. So the next thing I would like to do is I would like to add the navigations. So I'll call this this should be the first navigation and it's using the first style. Awesome. So I'll call this about Christmas. So if you want to read about Christmas, what Christmas is all about. So for the color, I'm going to be using my black and that's the charcoal. Then for the text, I'm going to be using caption. Yeah, I want to use caption. So I'm going to bring this up here and I'll duplicate it. And next nav link I want to create is gifts, so you can see the kind of gifts you want to give out during this period. The next link I'm going to use receive. I'll expect that will receive a gift. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll have a button that will say, let's say you want to share a gift. I want this to be out to be more visible, so I'm going to use a button for that. So I'll call this share gift. As fast as I can, let's do this snappy. So to arrange this, it's going to be difficult to start arranging it one after the other. So I'm going to use auto layout. Is a cool feature. I have a video in my channel that talks about auto layout. So I'm going to use Shift A on the keyboard to set an auto layout to this. Awesome. And the next thing I want to do, I want to give each of them a spacing of 64. And also I'll click on the auto layer properties and make it align center for everything. So this button, I'm going to add auto layout to it for the button, and I'm going to set the spacing. Okay, I'm going to make this center, and I'll make the height in the button to be 8, then the left and right I want to make it 16. Awesome. So for the text of the button, okay, there's an auto layer frame for this, so I can call this button. Then for the text, I'm going to change the text property. I have a button text for that. And for the field, so I'm going to add a field, and the color for the field, I'm going to use my speech red. Okay, awesome. Then for the text, I'm going to change the color of the text to white. Awesome. Also, I'm going to as well add a corner radius of 4, so it looks pretty nice. Okay, that's fine. So what I want to do is I'm going to use this button. So what I will do is I'll use my Ctrl X on the keyboard. Then I'll create a page where I'll call that page components. So things I'm going to be reusing here, I'm going to create a page for it and call it component. So for this set of components, it's going to be buttons, and I'm going to paste that here. Awesome. So I'm going to make this a component by clicking up here, create a component, and that's it. So when I go back to my design page, I can go to assets, and you could see buttons, and I can just drag that button in here, and that's awesome. So I can go back to layout and then click on this frame and make sure my button is part of the frame. Awesome. So what next? Let's look at the frame, and the properties are still okay. So what I'll rename this frame to navigation. It's really nice to rename your group frames or components or something like that. Rename them so you know what those components are. So I'm going to select this, and I'll use the grid line which I've added here. So I want it to start to get to the end of this grid line, and I also want this Christmas to start at the beginning. So I'm going to select these two, and I'll use my alignment tool at the top. You could see you could use alternate V to align vertical center. So I just clicked on that. Then I'll make this a frame selection. Right click and make it a frame selection. Shortcut on the keyboard, Control Alternate G to make it a frame selection. Awesome. So next, I want to check the margin between this frame and the top. So I will hold my Alt. The Alt helps you to see the margins. Awesome. This is great. Figma helps you with some great features. So I will quickly take this, use my keyboard arrows to move this frame selection upward. So I want this to be 16, and I think I'm okay with that. So next thing, I'll turn off the grid line. So you can use a shortcut Ctrl+Shift+4 on your keyboard to turn off the grid line. Also, I'm just giving you some shortcut keyboards so that it will make your work faster and easier. Then next, I will select a pen tool and just click on this point and down to this point. Once I'm done, use my escape key and then click on done. So for this, I'm going to set the stroke to be 3, and I'm going to set the color. So I'll just click on this, and I'm using Kubi for that. So it's like a lighter color. So let me zoom in, and I can drag this in to this point. Make sure it starts. Yeah, awesome. So next thing is to check the alignment with this. So I'll hold my Alt to see the measurement, and this is 32. So I don't want 32, I want 16. So it matches same with what I have. Okay, awesome. This is nice. So the next thing I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to add some text. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my mood board and just pick some text, so that I will do that as fast as possible. Go back to the design and paste the text. So the content of this text is time to share. um, with loved ones. Awesome. So I'll turn on the grid line, Control Alternate 4, and I want this to start from this grid line, and I don't want it to take. I want to take 6 of it of the grid line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. So the next thing I want to do, I'll go back to the mood board, and I'm going to pick my body text, which I have there. So I'm going to paste that here, and this is exactly what I want. And this is also 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll go back to the mood board, and I'll pick my subtitle, go back to my design, sorry, and I'll paste that here. And the content of this should be Merry Christmas. So awesome. So the next thing I want to do is to start arranging this content. So what I'll do here is I'll take this. I want it to start at the third grid line. Then I'll kind of add a stroke, just kind of a basic design. So just sorry about that. I'll select the pen tool and add a stroke, and I want it to start from this point. So I'm holding down my shift on the keyboard so that I make a very straight line. So I'll go to click here, and I click on the escape on the keyboard and click on done. So I'm going to make this 3, and the color for this, I'm going to use my green, and for this also as well, I'm going to use my, sorry, I'm going to use, for the color, I'm also going to use green for this color. Then for this text, I'm going to use my black, and also for this text, I'm also going to use my black. Awesome. I can turn off the grid line, Control Shift 4, and I have this. So the next thing I will do is I need a little form for you to maybe type your email, and you get the process of how to get your gift. So what I'll do is, with the ad sets we created, it makes it easier to get another button without getting to start your button again. So the content of this button is going to be receive a gift, and that's fine. So I'm going to turn on the grid line and see what I have. So I want like an input box. So what I would do is I want this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I want the input box, sorry. I want the input box to take 5 of this grid line. So I'm going to select the input, a box, and draw something like an input box. So I'm going to give this input box a color. I have my white smoke color, which I want to use. So I'm taking this button to the top. Also, it's not at the top. So what I can do is, this is the rectangle, this is the button. I can take the button above the rectangle. So shortcut keyboard, you use shift bracket to get what you want. So I'm going to set this, and you hold my shift to get some alignment. So I want this to be 8 at the top, and towards the end, I want it to be 8. And this is not 8. So this is 22. So I can keep reducing it. This is 10, and I'll reduce. I can reduce again, but I want to be careful that it's 8. So what I can do, this is the height. So I go to the property and just -2. That's an also feature in Figma. So once I minus that, I'll get my 8. Awesome. So I'd like to add a maybe a radius to this box. So I'll just add 4 to that. Then I'll turn off the grid line, and let's see what we have. Awesome. So we have something looking great already. So our stroke here is kind of it's outside the frame, and that's I think that's why it's scattering. So I'll take it into the frame, and remember the setting, I think it's 16 we used, so I'm going to set it 16 towards this. Awesome. So the next thing I'll do here is okay, what I'll do now is to bring in my images, or we can tidy up this and group them together. So let me group this and the button here. I can use my Control Alt and G to create a frame for it, and I'll call this my input. Nice naming convention so that you know what your elements are on the canvas or on your artboard. So I'm going to select these two and also group them, or use a frame selection for them. So I want the spacing between this and this. If you know, I'm using 8 pixel format of spacing. So if I'm using 8 I'm using multiples of 8. Is either I use 8, 16, 32. So that's the way I'm spacing my elements here. So if I to check the spacing using my Alt on the keyboard and hover against the other element, you can see it's 34. So I'm going to make this 8. I want it to be closer. Okay, let's use 16. Then I'm going to set this to 24. I'm using multiple of 8. Then also I'll set this to 24 as well. Awesome. So the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the images as fast as I can. So I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call it header. And for this frame, okay, I'm going to select everything I have here, and I'll add a frame to it, and I'm going to call this text content. Then that's all. So the next thing is to go back to our mood board, and I'm going to pick the images. So I'll copy this, go back to the design and paste it. Our designs is already looking great, so I'm going to increase it. I want you, when you're designing this, I want you to increase it to your own standard. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. If you're really interested and you like this video, please share it. Please like, share, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much. So the next thing, I'll go back to the mood board and pick this and come back here, and I'll paste that here. Awesome. So I'm going to reduce this. You can reduce it to the size you want, and I think I'm okay with this, and I'm going to screw it this way a little bit and take it to this point. Awesome, we're done with our design. So I promise you that I'm going to be showing you how to do the glass design, so we will jump into that right now. So what I will do is I'll select my frame. So we're going to do for the glass design, it's a new trend, and it's necessary that you get to know about this while jumping into 2021. So this frame selection, I'm going to be using MacBook Pro, sorry. And the background color I'm going to be using for my glass design, I'm going to be using this color. You can go ahead and use any color you want to use. You can go ahead and use background. The idea is having your design look transparent into the background you're using. So what I'm going to do, and I'll lift up this design and I'll paste it into this frame. So I'll call this frame, what am I going to call that frame? I'm going to call that frame Glassmorphism, because that's the design I want to do. So I'm going to copy this, and I'll paste it right into, drag it in. So, and I'm going to select the scale tool and reduce. That way everything, oh wait, our image is not inside this frame, so I'm going to drag the image into this frame. Awesome. So I'm going to copy this and paste it into this glass again. So I'll drag this in. Okay, awesome. So while selecting the scale tool, I can reduce this. Sorry, selecting the scale tool, I can reduce this a little bit, and I can set it to be centered, align. Can increase it a little bit, and also set it to be centered, align. Okay, so we're trying to design for our class. Now this is what we have. So to add the glass morphism, so I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really simple. So the first thing is to select the frame, or what you want to look like a transparent on the background. So what you do is I'll select this and make it a linear fill rather. So I'm going to make this way, and that's the linear fill I have for this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some effects. So this effect, I'm going to make it background blur. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to make it a background blur. It's now looking like a glass, and our glass are not usually very sharp. Nobody likes a very sharp glass at the edges. So what I can do is I'll go to the radius and I'll make it like, let's say 24. Okay, awesome. So next I want to add a stroke to this so it pops out very well, and making that stroke, let's say 3 or 3 or 2 looks awesome. So I'm going to set the stroke color to white, and also I can change the stroke to linear so that I can make this edge not too sharp. So I'll tint it this way, I'll kind of rotate it this way, and you can make some of your adjustment. Like if you look at this point, I can increase the stroke, the visibility, and that's the opacity. So awesome, we already have something that looks like glass. Remember, the background picture can be any, it can be image, or it can be a design, or just a fill color which you can use to achieve that. So I would like to add a shadow to this as well. So when I click on the effects, you can add multiple effects. So I can look at this effect is the background blur. So I'll click on the shadow. So on the shadow, I have some settings which I want to use for that. I can make the x-axis to be 80, and the y I'll set it to 120, and I'll set the blur to 100, and I'll set this spread to be, let's say, 100 as well, and I'll reduce the opacity down to 5, depending on what you want to achieve. So you can play around with this and see what works best for you. So fine, awesome, we have our glass design. So this can be placed on an image background, and you're going to see the image through this design, and this is awesome. This is really nice. This is a trend which you want to take to 2021. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. Share my videos to everyone. I'll be glad to have my videos go viral and get more subscribers on this channel if you really like what I'm doing in this channel. So a give out, a kind of give out to you guys, you watching this video. So I'll show you how to create some animation. So what I'm going to do is I can create another page. I'll call it prototype. So call this prototype. So I'll go back to my design and just lift this. That's what I want to use for the prototype. So I'll paste it here, and I'm going to duplicate this in 3 places. So awesome. So what the prototype, I want to create an animation within these 3 designs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this one to the right a little bit. So moved it to the right, and I'm going to move this to the left. Sorry, I moved that to the left, so I'm moving this to the right. Then I'll create my animations from this frame. So I'll click on prototype, click on interaction, then I'll select the interaction should be after delay, and I'm going to make this navigate to this. Okay, then I'm going to set this to be smart animate, and I want it to ease in, and that's it. So for this I'm going to drag this to this frame, and I'll set this to after delay, and I'm going to make a smart animate and ease in. Awesome. For this, it's going to go back to the main design, which is the first one, and it's going to be after a delay, and it's going to be smart, animate, and easy. So let me quickly run this and see what we have and how our animation will look like. So I'm going to make this fit to this point, and let's see what our animation will look like. Why is it not running? So I'm going to check it out again. This is on click. No, I'm changing it to, why can't I select after delay? Okay, I'm removing the on click. I have my after delay there. So it should navigate to this. After delay, should navigate to this. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to check out this very one and see if it is after delay. Okay, it's after delay. So let's check out our design. Awesome. So there's some movements ongoing, and you can move the objects, you can move the images. Let me move it a little bit, and also move this a little bit. So we can check out our prototype. Awesome. So guys, that's all with this video, like a wrap up of what we have. We did this design, and I showed you guys some pretty standards, how I have used Figma styles to make my work so easy, and how I used components to make my work so easy, and how my mood board. And I said I'm going to share this in the description for you to use and create your own design. Then I also showed you how to create the Glassmorphism. It's a new trend where you have to create designs that looks transparent like glasses. And remember, I used a curve around the glass because nobody likes a curve. A very sharp glass you might get injured. And also I just showed some cool stuff, animations. So awesome guys, if you really enjoyed this video, please like the video, please share it to everyone, share it on social media. I'll be really happy. I need this video to go viral. And peace out, love you guys. I'm going to make a new content. 2021 is going to be awesome, so I'm going to be putting out good content and more wonderful content on this channel. See you guys, love you all, and bye.